Right, you are still watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Let's take you down to Nigeria once again. Now, from North Africa, we move west. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Nigeria has adjusted its timeline for the conduct of today's supplementary governorship elections in Ihiala local government area of Anambra State. Now, INEC National Commissioner and Chairman of its Information and Voter Education Committee, that's Barrister Festus Okoye, who's also been on Breakfast before, disclosed this in a statement issued in Abuja. Now, according to him, polling in respect of the supplementary election for Ihiala local government will commence at 10 a.m. today and end at 4 p.m. as against the earlier scheduled 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Now, Barrister Festus Okoye maintained that the new time will be strictly complied with considering the prevailing situation in Anambra State. We are now joined by journalist Franklin Ebuka for more updates on the election. Many thanks for joining the program, Franklin. But before we even talk about the supplementary election, quickly tell us what the atmosphere is currently in Anambra State after INEC's announcement just yesterday morning.
Well, for now in Anambra State, what the mood is like, some people feel that the election has been won and lost. That's what people felt. But people who are sympathetic to the cause of PDP, they still believe that there's a lot to fight for. Just yesterday, the candidate of the PDP held a press conference in North where he said that he is still so much in the race because he believes so much in his ability, to pull the chestnut out of the fire. He said that for now, since we have 148,000 votes up for grab in the Ihiala local government area, that considering the fact that the difference between the leading candidates, which is the candidate of the APGA, and him, is just about 51,000 votes, that he believes so much that with their mobilization, what they have been doing, that they will be able to upturn that difference and be declared winner at the end of the supplementary election, which is going to hold in Ihiala today. So for people who are in the camp of APGA, it's already celebration. We have seen the celebrating. But for people who are sympathetic to the cause of PDP, they believe that there is still a chance for the PDP to upturn the difference.
Well, Franklin, Ihiala local government area, holds a significant part of the election, and with it, there should be perhaps a better, voter turnout. But does the supplementary election mask the fact that perhaps some Anambrarians may have, gone disinterested in the election process altogether?
I cannot guarantee that you will be able to have massive turnout for this election, notwithstanding that it's just for a particular local government area. Sometimes history will have to explain things. In most cases where an election is inconclusive and you have election to be run in a local government area, look at states that have had it, we don't get to see that turnout that can be complementary to the turnout which people normally see on the day of the actual election. So, in as much as we have 147,000 potential voters, I will call them, that's the number of voters who are reached in that government area. I don't see up to 100,000 turning out for this election. Reason is this: some people are going to go for their businesses. In as much as police has said that that place is under lockdown, there might not be businesses. But with what happened during the Saturday election, where BBAS malfunction and other things, there could be some element of skepticism. Should we go again to exercise our franchise, considering what some people pass through, or should we start at home? So I don't actually see a massive turnout. The turnout might be less than 80,000.
Wow, frankly, you've come out to say the turnout might be less than 80 or even less than 100,000 people for today's election at Ihiala local government. But should we expect a similar pattern in terms of results declared so far, or do we even expect a rerun?
I'm going to start this from talking from the point of the PDP candidates. Yesterday, he was very upbeat. I was at the press conference. He was very upbeat that they can upturn the tide. Because apart from the 147,000 votes up for grabs in Ihiala, he said that there are still potential 100,000 votes in some local government areas like in Idemili North, Idemili South, some places where elections never held. Elections were not held in these places. So for him, he's calculating that there are still potential 280,000 votes that can be fought for. But what I'm looking at, based on Ihiala, the election is going to happen there. A lot of factors might not count in the favor of the PDP. The reason is this. One is There are some big men in that very area who are sympathetic to the Africa cause, the likes of Obi Jackson. And then we have we have a serving member of Anambra State House of Assembly who, from that very area, talking about Oscar Bodike. We also have a serving House of Rep member representing Ihiala, Barrister Ifeanyi Chukwudi Boma, also from that very place, in as much as he hasn't been so much committed to the Sukudu cause. But for the fact that he's a member of ABGA, I believe that his supporters can as well go in the favor of ABGA. Then we also have the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Sidon Adonaba. He's also from Ihiala. So all of them are going to fight to ensure that ABGA gets to win that very race in that area. Then the latest news about what is happening there is that the ADC candidate, Akash Kumwambo, he vied for the election, but yesterday he said that he's now offering support to the candidate of ABGA in this very election, and he's from Ihiala. So what that means is that he's going to ask his supporters to vote for the candidate of ABGA. So for PDP, I think it's an uphill task for them to be able to upturn the tide in that very area.
All right, Franklin. We've been having comments, especially on social media, about alleged vote buying, despite the fingerprint identification, facial identification systems we've had. From what you've observed so far in these elections, are you worried that even with the technological improvements that such can be bypassed too?
Yes, I am worried because sometimes you consider the level of literacy. There are some people who actually, with that inducement, they think they cannot go out to vote. They believe that, anything I get from the election is what I gain for the entirety of that very administration. So they expect that you give them money, even as low as 500 naira. But what is frightening is that in this election, some parties paid as much as between 10 to 15,000 naira to voters just to buy their vote.
Wow.
It happened in some places like in Idemili North. We saw it.
Franklin, you witnessed this? You saw this?
We saw it.
Whoa.
We saw it. And the fact now is this. It's a trend that has come to stay. In as much as we're trying to fight it from different perspectives, technology has not been able to solve it until we have a level of enlightenment where people get to understand that this is their civic responsibility. It's a time for them to be able to entrench a good governance. It's time for them to be able to, decide on who gets to govern them without any influence. That's when we begin to see reduction. Or if we decide to amend the Electoral Act and then the Constitution to limit how much people get to spend. Apart from limiting, INEC gets to audit what people spend. It's going to be hard. Yesterday, the PDP candidate, he complained about it. He said that, in some places where they lost because other parties had better resources to expend on the election day.
All right. Thank you so much, journalist Franklin Ebuka, for giving us this report live from Anambra State. And of course, you will be following us and you'll be updating us on how it will go today, especially with the supplementary election that is happening in Ihiala local government area. Thank you once again.
All right. Thank you.
All right. More top stories coming your way right here on Breakfast Central.